The royal arena of Cavareth was built from obsidian stone and the bones of the defeated. Thousands sat in a circle carved into the mountain's side, overlooking the crimson sands below where the duel would unfold. Horns blew from towers, and ceremonial drummers pounded out rhythms meant to awaken ancestral war spirits. Banners rippled like fire against a sky that pulsed faintly green from the twin moons overhead. King Tharok of the Skarn Dominion stood tall upon his dais, armored in blood steel. His voice boomed through the arena without amplification. "Today," he declared, "we settle this pact with trial by combat. Your envoy claimed parity. Let one among you step forward and prove it." Behind the diplomatic line, the humans exchanged worried glances. The Skarn were massive, 7 feet tall on average, exoskeletal plating fused to muscle, claws that could punch through alloy. Their dual tradition was often fatal, though they called it binding justice. Most humans assumed it was ceremonial, the sort of thing no one expected anyone to actually follow through on. They were wrong. King Tharok gestured, and his champion stepped forward. Massive even by Skarn standards, the champion wore minimal armor but carried a twin-bladed hammer that crackled with embedded charge rods. He flexed his neck with a sickening crack and let out a guttural roar that made the arena walls shudder. On the human side, arguments broke out. Can we invoke a substitute? Request arbitration? This isn't in the treaty protocol. Behind them, sitting on a stone bench near the edge of the envoy box, was a man barefoot, lean, and silent. He wore a loose gray shirt, sleeves rolled to his elbows, and his posture was relaxed enough to seem bored. His name was Adam Reese. No rank, no insignia. Technically not even part of the delegation, he was supposed to be a security advisor, though nobody could remember who had assigned him. He stood. No one noticed at first. He cracked his neck, slow and deliberate, rolled his shoulders and walked barefoot down the stone steps. Not rushed, not hesitant, just walking. The Skarn crowd grew quiet. Tharok raised an eyebrow. "This is your champion?" Adam didn't respond. He stepped onto the sand and stopped 15 feet from the towering Skarn warrior. Someone in the crowd laughed. Then the champion laughed. This bipedal mammal had brought no weapon, no armor, not even shoes. His shoulders were scarred, but not heavily, his hands loose at his sides. He looked ordinary. "You've misunderstood the purpose of a duel," the Skarn champion called. "This is not poetry, little mammal." Adam tilted his head slightly. "Neither is what's coming next." The champion's smile faltered just a fraction. No signal was given. No horn blown. Adam moved. It wasn't fast by Skarn standards, but it was precise. He ducked low, avoided the first wide sweep of the hammer, then slammed his right palm into the champion's knee with enough force to dislocate it laterally. The Skarn howled. Before he could react, Adam pivoted and drove his elbow into the lower thoracic plate, just beneath the left rib joint. A sickening crunch followed. Then Adam stepped back, calm, breathing steady. The champion stumbled, gripping his side, fury burning in his eyes. Adam wiped a fleck of something from his palm. Then the champion charged. Adam sidestepped, redirected the charge by catching the wrist and rotating. Momentum carried the Skarn headfirst into the arena wall. He collapsed in a heap of twitching limbs and dropped the hammer. Silence. Absolute silence. Adam picked up the hammer. He walked to the center of the arena, turned to face the king, and let the hammer drop into the sand. "I accept the terms of combat," he said flatly. "Do you?" King Tharok did not answer at first. When he spoke, his voice was measured. "The terms are honored." The duel was over. Adam turned and walked back to the human envoy without looking back. Later, in the temporary human encampment outside the arena, Adam sat alone, his knuckles submerged in a bowl of chilled saline. His forearms trembled slightly. Delayed onset tremors from adrenaline discharge. A junior medic approached. "That hit to your side was brutal. You took a glancing strike to the ribs, right? Adam nodded once. I'd like to scan for a fracture. Hairline, Adam confirmed. Third and fourth. I've had worse. You should still get a wrap. Well, the medic hesitated. You're not a soldier, are you? But you fought like one. Adam looked at the floor. I fight like someone who knows how not to die. Outside, the night settled across Cavareth. The treaty had been ratified, the duel accepted. The Scarn respected strength, and Adam had shown them just enough to end the matter without further blood. But none of the humans asked where he'd learned it, and Adam never volunteered the answer. The following morning, Adam woke to stiffness he expected and pain he didn't. His ribs protested every breath, but what truly concerned him was the dull ache spreading from his scapula to the base of his neck. A slow burning signal that the impact from yesterday's deflection had done more than bruise. He sat up on his cot, bare-chested, and checked the swelling. There was none visible, but the tenderness around the spine was worrying. As a precaution, he applied a neural patch over the upper thoracic vertebrae. It would blunt the pain, not fix the problem. Outside, the human delegation bustled with activity. Word of the duel had spread across Cavath like wildfire. Local traders and nobles from other Scarn territories were already arriving at the outer compound, eager to see the barefoot human who had shamed the king's champion. Adam wanted none of it. He dressed quietly and slipped out before the first arrival. The sand crunched under his feet. Boots this time, though he still favored the open shirt. He walked toward the edge of the compound, where the rocks sloped into the low hills surrounding the capital. There, Soren Eames waited. Officially, Soren was a diplomat liaison from Earth's Outer Relations Bureau. Unofficially, he was the only one who didn't treat Adam like a living weapon. You're limping, Soren said without turning. Just tight. You took a hit you didn't need to take. Adam exhaled slowly. Tried to. Ended fast. He was faster than I expected. Still walked away. Adam didn't answer. Soren faced him. They're calling for a demonstration. Not from our delegation, locals. They want to see how you train, what you are. They want a show. Yes, and that's a problem. Adam cracked his knuckles, one by one. Because the first duel worked, now they want proof it wasn't luck. Or trickery. The royal court's still divided. Some think you used a neural enhancer. Others suspect off-world tech. Let them scan me. Soren nodded. They will. Tomorrow morning. Voluntary diagnostics, but I'm worried it won't end there. Adam sat on a nearby rock. The pressure on his spine made him wince. You think Theric regrets accepting the outcome? I think he hates surprises, and you surprised everyone. That evening, a small delegation of Scarn youth arrived at the human compound. Students, supposedly. Warriors in training. Most carried datapads and wore ceremonial sashes indicating lineage rank. One of them, leaner than the others and sharp-eyed, asked directly, "Why didn't you wear armor?" Adam stood with his arms crossed. Because it would have slowed me down. Another asked, "Do all humans fight without weapons?" No, but I wasn't there to kill, just to win. That answer confused them more than any other. One muttered in Scarn dialect, assuming Adam wouldn't catch it. He thinks war is a conversation. Adam replied in fluent dialect, "If you're lucky, it is." That shut them up. By nightfall, the compound received an official summons from the royal court. It wasn't another challenge, but it was a demand. The king requested Adam attend the dawn convocation, where a brief martial demonstration would be required. He's trying to measure you, Soren said. See if he underestimated you or overdid it. Adam agreed without hesitation. That night, his rib pain worsened. He lay on his side, breath shallow. He finally requested a full diagnostic scan from the medical unit. The imaging confirmed it. 2 non-displaced rib fractures, plus a spinal contusion around T3. No neurological damage, but the surrounding tissue was inflamed and would limit upper body torque. You need at least a week of rest, the medic warned. I need 12 hours, Adam replied. No lifting, no throws, no high torque movement or you risk displacing the rib line. Noted. The next morning, he stood before the royal dais once again. The arena was empty of crowds this time, just the king, his council, and 24 royal guards. This is not a duel, Tharic said plainly. No blood need be spilled, but we require truth. Adam stepped forward, barefoot again, not for show. The boots restricted movement too much, with the swelling behind his ribs. A new opponent waited, smaller than the previous champion. Faster, too. Female by the shape of her crest. No weapons, no armor, just muscle and coiled speed. She bowed. Adam nodded. Then she struck. Fast. So fast her form blurred across the sand. Adam absorbed the first hit, a low kick meant to test. He blocked the second, caught the third, and twisted. The pain in his back flared like wildfire. His breath hitched, and the grip slipped. She seized the opening. A hard strike to his ribs sent him staggering. One fracture shifted, he knew the feeling. A sharp bite of displaced bone grinding into cartilage. He dropped to one knee. The guards shifted forward. Adam held up one hand. Not done. He stood, slower now. Gritting his teeth, he reset his posture, minimized torso rotation, shifted to a more grounded stance. Let her come again. This time, he waited. She lunged. He stepped in, not away, and turned the momentum sideways, letting her overshoot by an inch. He dropped his weight, caught her ankle mid-strike, and swept her down gently. She rolled, came up, ready to continue. But Adam raised a hand. Match point. She blinked, hesitated, then nodded. Tharic stood. Explain why you stopped. Adam breathed slowly through his nose. Because I won. Without contact? With control. The king studied him. Penn gave a single nod. Accepted? No one cheered. No one needed to. In the hours that followed, Adam allowed a full-body scan, verified no augmentations, and answered questions from both human and Scarn scientists. He was, by all metrics, unenhanced. His skeletal structure showed signs of repeated trauma, older fractures healed properly, scar tissue across ligaments and joints, a history of violence managed, not erased, a body that survived everything thrown at it. By nightfall, the court's attitude shifted. He wasn't an anomaly. He was human. And that, it turned out, was enough. 2 days after the demonstration, Adam's rib was officially displaced. He didn't need a scan to tell. He felt it. Just under the edge of his pectoral muscle, a sharp jab that bit with every inhale and stiffened his gait. During morning movement drills, a basic side stretch triggered a spasm down his right flank that left him kneeling in the courtyard, teeth clenched, sweat beading at his hairline. A medic was called. Soran arrived 5 minutes later. You're not training again until we stabilize that rib, the medic warned. Adam didn't argue. He sat still as they applied a cortical suppression band around his torso, tightened over the lower thorax to hold the ribs in line. It would reduce movement enough to prevent further damage, but it wasn't a fix. You're lucky it didn't puncture a lung, Soran muttered. Adam winced as the band cinched. Give it time. You're a diplomat now, Soran reminded him. Start acting like one. I didn't ask to be one. No, but they're asking for you. By they, Soran meant the noble houses. Scarn political structure was layered like fossil strata. Generations upon generations of martial lineages tied together by ritual, oath, and the occasional blood feud. The king's court governed, but only because the houses allowed it. Since Adam's duel, several of the lesser houses had begun sending messages. Invitations. Challenges, some veiled, others direct. House Marak offered an honorary blade, requesting a joint demonstration. House Verlek demanded trial, proof that Earthborn warriors did not cheat nature. and House Ilek simply asked for Adam's participation in an ancient ceremony known only as the Banner Rite. That last one got Soren's attention. Banner rights haven't been invoked in centuries, he said, scrolling through diplomatic archives in the field tent. They're a holdover from the clan unification. Anyone who carries the banner becomes part of the house, family in their eyes. Adam raised an eyebrow. So they want to adopt me. They want to see if you're worth adopting. Adam leaned back, carefully. The compression band limited his range. Fine. When is it? Tonight. Soren handed him a small metallic orb, etched with moving script. They'll expect you to carry this into the arena. Don't activate it unless invited. And if I don't accept? Soren paused. Then you're just a warrior, not a symbol. Adam's silence said enough. He showed up that night without fanfare, dressed in a loose robe that did little to hide the bandage beneath. House Ilek's arena was smaller than the royal courts, oval-shaped, surrounded by fire pits, the walls inscribed with the names of the dead. The orb pulsed as he entered. A dozen Ilek elders stood opposite him, none armed. Each placed a hand on the ceremonial banner, a 6-foot pole tipped with bone and steel, wrapped in blood-colored cloth. One of the elders stepped forward. Her eyes were silver, but her voice held youth. This rite has not been called since the mountains bled and the sun split the sky, she intoned. Do you understand its weight? I understand enough, Adam replied. Then carry it. She held out the banner. Adam stepped forward and took it with both hands. It was heavier than it looked, not just in weight but in presence. The cloth was warm, alive with memory, maybe even expectation. As soon as he gripped it, the fire pits flared. The orb in his pocket pulsed harder. From the edge of the arena, a challenger emerged, young, armored in ceremonial plates, wielding twin scythes. Not a duel, the elder had said, a rite. Still, Adam recognized the shape of the challenge. Does he know I'm injured? He asked quietly. Of course, the elder said. That is why he accepted. Adam didn't flinch. He walked to the center of the arena, banner in one hand, no weapon in the other. The challenger circled, blades held low. Adam waited, then moved. His body screamed with every turn, every pivot. He couldn't twist fully. His right side was protected, but tight, unforgiving. He used it, let it slow him, forced the challenger to overreach, let the blades glance off nothing, never returned a strike, just redirected. Then he dropped the banner. The arena gasped. Adam stepped forward, caught one scythe mid-swing, twisted and drove the hilt into the sand. Then backed off. I yield, he said. The arena froze. The challenger stared at him, then dropped his other blade and bowed. Adam bent down, slowly, painfully, and picked up the banner. He lifted it with both hands and returned to the elder. She nodded once. House Ilek recognizes you. Not as warrior, but as survivor. That night, Adam didn't speak much. He let the healers reset the rib. Under real anesthesia this time, the pain afterward was worse than before, but he bore it silently. Soren visited him while he rested, looked at the swelling across his torso, the discoloration. You earned their trust. Adam's voice was a whisper. Wasn't trying to. Exactly. The king summoned Adam at dawn. No emissaries this time, no ritual drums. Just a quiet message delivered by a Skarn courier with downcast eyes and a sealed tablet. The message was direct. Come alone. Bring no weapons. You are expected. Adam didn't need help dressing, though he moved slower now. His rib had been manually reduced the previous evening, and the bruising around his flank had darkened to the color of old plum skin. He wore a single wrap around his torso, tight enough to prevent shifting, loose enough to allow breathing. It wasn't comfortable, but it worked. Outside, the air was cooler. A storm had passed through the night before, scrubbing the grit from the mountain wind. The city of Kvereth shimmered in the distance, damp and freshly scarred by rainfall. As Adam climbed the final stairs to the royal quarter, he noticed something new. No guards, no ceremony. Only King Tharek seated on a stone bench beside a long pool of still water, his reflection cast beside the twin moons overhead. "You walk as one who has broken but not healed," Tharak said, without turning. Adam sat across from him. "I walk like a man who knows his limits." The king allowed a faint smile. "Limits are sacred things. Only fools discard them." They sat in silence for a moment, the sound of distant bells rolling over the hills. "You surprise me," Tharak said at last. "Twice." "Only twice?" "Once in the arena. Once when you yielded without losing." Adam gave a shallow nod. "I didn't need to win, just needed to be seen." The king turned now, fully facing him. "You understand us better than your own envoys do." "I'm not here as an envoy." "No," Tharak agreed. "You are here because war taught you how to end it." Adam didn't answer. Tharak rose to his feet. "There is a tradition, a rare one. When a warrior proves his worth not through destruction, but through presence, we offer him choice." The king drew something from his belt, a shard of obsidian shaped like a small fang wrapped in silver thread. "This is the packed fang," he said, "only ever held by a bonded peer." Adam raised an eyebrow. "You're offering me a place in the court?" "Something more permanent, as warden of a court." Adam stared at him. "You want me to stay?" "I want you to be what the old houses were meant to be," Tharak said. "A balance, not just of might, but of will." Adam leaned forward, slowly, every movement deliberate through the tightness in his side. "I'm not Skarn," he said softly. "I'm not one of you. You bled for us, that is more than enough." He accepted the shard. It was heavier than it looked, cool, but warm in his palm after a moment, almost like it remembered other hands before his. "You'll have to speak for both sides," Tharak said. "The humans will be confused. Some will think you betrayed them." "I'll explain it. You will also be challenged again. As long as you breathe, there will be those who test it." Adam looked up. "Then let them." The coronation, if it could be called that, was quiet. No fanfare, no horns. Just the ritual of the fang, a mark drawn across the sand, a word spoken into the stones, and a signature etched into a treaty with no expiration date. Soran shook his head in disbelief when Adam returned wearing the packed sash. "You were supposed to be here for 3 weeks," he said. "A simple advisor role. Now you're a political fulcrum." "I'll still advise," Adam said, voice dry. "You're not even cleared for long-term deployment. Your rib will heal. If I rest." Saran gave him a long look. "You're not resting, are you?" Adam shrugged carefully, only in between the important parts. The news reached Earth 3 days later. Adam Reese had been named Warden of Accord, a position not seen in Skarn society for over a century. The human delegation scrambled to adjust protocols, draft new trade passages, and renegotiate several standing assumptions. But nothing changed the fact that in one quiet duel, a man with no title and no armor had been accepted into a warrior empire that didn't offer second chances. Months passed. In a year, Adam remained moving, slower now but speaking more. He trained younger Skarn in balance, not dominance. He taught diplomats how to move through tension instead of pushing against it. He returned to Earth only twice, and only briefly. The Skarn called him the barefoot warden, even long after he'd started wearing proper boots again. And when he finally retired, aged, stiff, but intact, he left the banner folded and the fang in its cradle. Not because he was done fighting, but because he had finished being misunderstood.